This
any domain,
conference will now be recorded.
industry, right? So there will be what we call complex mathematical expressions like statistical equations for banking industry for exposure calculation and for healthcare based on HIPAA standards. Similarly, for each domain, they'll have what? Their own pre-built mathematical formulas. But how are we going to build such kind of mathematical formulas and get the result out of it? Yeah. So that's one thing. Next is what? So we could able to see what we call like can we use like similar uh, kind of logic like what we discussed in the last session? Answer is what? Yes, but it's extension to that. Yeah, which means if you want to make a program is more like a structured programming. Yeah, we could able to do that by using what object-oriented programming. Remember that because till yesterday what we discussed was it's a structured based programming or function based programming. Yes or no? Like what we did was we have just added one function to perform one functionality. Yes or no? Like some add function. And second also we added to perform FIBO, right? Yes or no? That's going to be the next function. Likewise, we can add any number of functions and get the job done. That's done. So that's what we call functional oriented programming. Yes or no? But if you want to structure out in the form of what? Objects, where it is more visual, easy to debug, easy to maintain, then we can perform some extra capabilities like inheritance or polymorphism, operator overloading, functional overloading, whatever, right? All such object oriented capabilities can be obtained from what this if we try to convert function oriented to or function oriented programming to what object oriented programming. So we'll try to explore that. So then if we get time we will try to talk about like can we apply this particular python to deal with what domain specific operations like a stock market or banking or healthcare or pharma or some other industry. So answer is what? Yes, we could do that. Let us see. Yeah. So the first and foremost thing, let us start with what? Remember, wherever you go, either in a structure programming, functional programming, or object-oriented programming, model-based programming, whichever programming like that we take, right? In all the cases, data structures are same. In the sense, like we talked about the data structures supported by Python, right? Anyway, we don't need to remember. Anyway, yesterday only we did, right? Like we talked about list, we talked about tuples, we talked about set, yes or no? So we talked about four data structures supported by what we call Python. Yeah. So let us try to recap that because they are the important things, right, to perform any manipulation. Like for example, if you want to go with what key value pairs, then we use a dictionary. If you want to go with what simple way of what we call adding, deleting, modifying, all that, right? Then we go with what list. If you want to maintain the static list of elements, then we go with what array, which is going to be tuples in Python, right? So unset also we can if you want to have set based operations like insert update whatever, right? All such things can also be done by using a set is not that recommended, guys. List and dictionary, these are the most widely used ones. For static we go with what tuples. That's the best practice we follow during programming. Fine. Now let us try to recap that. So with some what I call practical example. Then we'll convert that to what object oriented stuff. Yeah. So let us say, so write a Python code. Yeah. Python code to handle static items like array in C. Yeah, like array list of elements of same type, right, which are static values. Yes or no? That's what we have within this particular C programming. We all know that, right? Similarly, we are just asking for converting that to what? Python. See here, we can see static array, initializing, then setting the values, then getting the values. Normally, in any programming language, right, we'll have setters and getters. Set means initializing or assigning values to variables. Get means get the values that we have set as part of set method or set function. That's it. That's a general practice we follow in programming, but we don't need to remember because that will be taken care by chatgpt, right? So now we could able to see setting the values usage, right? It is just like what? Allocating 5 items and adding data to it and get, and in a specified index we can get corresponding value. If we try to use index value which is beyond the maximum that we have set, no, we are going to get corresponding error message which is out, you know, out of bounds or whatever. Now the question, can we execute this from what you call script or not? Answer is what? Yes. Let us try doing it. Yeah. Yesterday what we did was we have just focused on like how to write it complete what I call structure as well as methods. Both you have taken care. Now we are trying to focus on only this data structures. Yeah? So let us stick to that. So let us say we are focusing on static array. Yeah? Static array dot py. Right? Say enter. Now we need to execute it. Yeah. Yeah. So the here will supply what? Static array. That's, see, can you see here? We got corresponding value for the first one, second, right? Index out of range because we are trying to retrieve the data which is not part of this array. Maximum is what? 5. We are trying to get 6. That's why it is out of bounds. Yeah? So that's it, guys, about array thing. Now convert above. Convert above. Go to what? Vector form, or we can say list. Hmm? List means we can perform what we call insert, append, update. All of them can be done, right? See here, this is similar to earlier, which means we specify here index and corresponding value. Yeah. Why? Because if you want to modify either first or second element, whatever, right? Based on this index, we can get it modified. Yeah. So that's it. So this way we can convert this static to what? Dynamic. Yeah. So remember. Now let us try to copy it. Yesterday code, like what we have seen, right, is totally different from what we are trying to see here because our input is different. Yeah. So here I'll put here dynamic list dot py. That's all. Yeah. So now let us try to run it. Yeah. Can you see we got the same result as earlier? Because there's no code change, we just asked for conversion, right? Now update update element 3, yeah, element 3 with a value, let's say 100, yeah, to above code. This is optional because it remembers, yeah. So that's it, yeah. See, can you see here? Third element. See, it got updated to what? 100. That's it. Now you will see some other value. Similarly, if you want to update and also print third element, yeah, modify above code to print, yeah, third element. Third means index third, which means fourth element. That's what it means. Yeah. So, so whatever is supply here, we could able to get the value corresponds to that. Yeah. Or print fourth element. Whatever you want, right? We can just specify. Then corresponding result we are going to get it. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Let's just modify this because we just modified a code, right? Yeah. And see the effect. Yeah. Can you see we got 100? Yeah. So same thing it got generated, right? In chatgpt. Yeah. Like if you look at in the last, see here, this is the third one output 100. Then we are also asked for the same question. Yeah. So default anyway, it is dumping third element, and again we ask for the same thing, fourth element, right? Index 3. That is outputted in the last. That's it. So now what we did, we talked about, let's say, static and also dynamic, which is list. Now convert above code. Why we are trying to do here? Because initially when you build a project, right, that time we thought it says there are static values. Later on, we need to convert that to what? Modifiable values. This we need to supply the input. Accordingly, ChatGPT would generate the code. But remember, if you want to perform this, either in ETL or some other tools, right? What we need to do? We need to get the change request, then design that, then developers they need to modify the code, they need to unit test it, then functional test, then followed by pass it to the testing team where they need to verify, then pass it to UAT, then followed by production. That's a common procedure we follow, right? But here, even customers, they themselves can do it, provided if they know like what they are doing. Remember, which means what? This particular chat GPT, it has been designed more towards what not only developers, towards what customers. And customers, if they know like what they're expecting, they need to ask specific question. So like what we are trying to do here, right? So that they can get the corresponding response. Yeah. So convert our code, yeah, based on with what dictionary, right? Where it has to maintain what I call key value pairs. Remember that, yeah. Same thing, but what we are trying to do here, we are trying to perform based on what dictionary. That's it, yeah. Where you will have key value pairs. Like index is a key, value is what corresponding value 10, 20, 30, whatever, right? These are all keys. See here, what we did yesterday is totally different from what we are doing here. Remember, yeah. So which means there are different ways to write a code or to generate a code, which means If someone has already, why I'm trying to talk about multiple ways of building code, because see, each developer is, they are going to work on their own way, right? Yes or no? Some they like object oriented programming, some they like function oriented programming, some they like mix of both. Yeah, or based on their skills, let's say they would have written the code. But what we need to do, we need to understand like what they have done, then modify accordingly. So that is what is going to be the very important thing, ChatGPT guys. Blindly, we should not regenerate complete code in a different way. If you do that, then you'll miss the flow. Remember, instead, what we need to do, we need to enhance the code of what was done earlier. So that's why I started with what? Static, converted to list, converted to what? Dictionary. It maintains what? Key value pairs. See, this is how we can supply the inputs incrementally. Yeah. So accordingly, we could able to see the result, right? Yes or no? Result will be same, but the way we are doing is different. The reason is what? Dictionary or a list, they're all what? Modifiable. Anyway, both are modifiable, and then why we need dictionary? Dictionary will have key value pairs, which means at any given point in time, we can supply key, then we are going to get corresponding value. Yeah. So let me try to paste it here. So see, we can see here through dictionary, we are trying to get the corresponding values. Same result, no change. Yeah. So which means we can perform the similar functionality in many ways. So depending upon the customer expectation, we need to use appropriate functionality to get the job done. Like, the same thing can be done with a static array, with a list, and with also what dictionary. Yeah. So now let us say we need to convert complete above code to what? In a different way. That also can be done. Yeah? But this is one way. Yesterday we have seen one way, right? This is another way. Yeah? So likewise, you can think of many other ways. Yeah? Now let us start understanding what I call, instead of focusing data structures in two perspectives we have seen. Yeah? First, yesterday we have seen, second we have seen today. Now let us say you are not okay with this particular program, and that too, this program is not maintainable, not flexible, not modifiable, so not modular, whatever, right? If you want to focus on well designed factors, then we can go with what? Building the code by using what? Object oriented programming. Yeah. So, okay, last question, can I convert above code? Yeah. So, above code based on object-oriented programming. Let me put oops. See whether it understands or not. If not, we'll give specific thing. See, it understood already. So yeah, see, it understood, right? So you can encapsulate this functionality into a class. So then, can you see here? This is one of the principle from OOP, which is object-oriented programming. Now we can ask question. See here. So we have already, it's already converted the above code to what? Object orientation, which means whatever has been discussed earlier, it is converted to what? A class. You know, within a class, we can see init, which is like a constructor we do, right? In constructor and object oriented, right? What it does, automatic initialization would be carried out by using what? Constructors. Yeah. So then we can see setters and getters, and then followed by retrieving the corresponding values. Yeah? So this way we can convert function oriented programming to object oriented programming. Yeah. So which means within a class we have got what? Set and get methods or functions. Remember, yeah. So likewise, let us say add add let's say add one more function. Yeah. So one more function to above class to handle Fibonacci. Yeah. So now let us see what it does. Yeah. Can you see here? Like yesterday, what we did was in function oriented programming, we have done what? Two separate functions. One does, let's say, sum, second does Fibonacci. Now we are trying to put that in what? A class. Yeah. So within a class, we could able to see three predefined methods, like which we have seen set, get, and init. Then third one, which we extended. See, we did not modify or we did not change existing code. Instead, what we are trying to do, we need to add functionality to what? Existing. So we need to maintain what I call consistency, guys, with respect to what existing code. Yeah. So, which without touching existing code, we have just added it. Yeah. This is what we call enhancing or enhancement. Yeah. Now we can see the corresponding result over here. Yeah. Now let us try to what we call copy this code and see whether we are going to get the expected result. Result of what? This particular Fibo along with the dictionary in object oriented programming. That's what we are doing right here. I'll just put here what object oriented programming dot py. Yeah. Just putting shortcut whoop.py. Yeah. Save it and paste it. Yeah. Now, so I think we understood already. Same thing I copied. So class. In object programming, right, we'll start with a class, right? Class is just like a blueprint, guys, where we can have methods and properties. Example, this is going to be the method. Then we can have n number properties underneath. Properties just like attributes or data members or fields or columns. Just remember, guys. Similarly, FIBO also. So we can see it takes what n as input. Self is just like this pointer we call, guys. We don't need to worry. That's a programming stuff because I know it. I'm talking, but you don't need to know it. So now we could able to see whatever FIBO is required, right? It is doing. We don't need to think on that. It will take care. That's it. But we should get the result as what? FIBO sequence, like what we can see, right? 0, 1, 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 2, 3, and so on. This formula we know, right? So that's it. Now we don't need to know also. It will just take care. Yeah. So now let us try to run and get the result, which is whoop, right? Yeah. Oh, what happened? It is not saved. See, it is not saved. Yeah. Save it and see, we got it now, right? So this is a previous which without object oriented programming we got 100. Then we can see Fibo. We extended, right? That's it. So this way we can get the same functionality as we got it in what? Functional oriented programming, in object oriented programming also. Plus we can also extend, yeah, after converting our structured programming to object programming and enhance the program where we enhanced with what? By adding one more function to it. That's it. Yeah. So this is how we can convert the code to other form and get it extended. Add, let us say, one more function, to previous class, hmm, to perform, let's say, yeah, any operation, let's say. So any basic mathematical, I'm just putting general. We can also convert that to specific. Yeah, can you see perform operation, general function, right? So here you can see, yeah, now we can just understand this. See, perform operation takes operation symbol, like any arithmetic, additive, subtract, multiplication, division, whatever, right? So that's what we can see here. Yeah, generic operation where user supplies, or we can supply what two numbers. Using these two numbers, it can perform plus, minus, multi, division, all that. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So here, as part of perform operation, right? So plus 10 20 minus 20 10, whatever user supplies with static values, we can do that. Yeah. So let us see whether it works or not. It will work anyway, but just to confirm. Yeah. Now I hope you guys are getting it right, in the sense. So this is beyond tools, guys. Yeah, in the sense, you don't need to know any tool, you don't need to know any application, you don't need to know any programming. You just need to know what you expect. That's all. And then, based on the expectation, you'll get what? Corresponding result, guys. That's what we are seeing right here. Yes or no? It's as simple as that. Yeah. See here. So, yeah, whatever perform operation, right? This is addition, this is subtract, this is multi, this is remainder, whatever. Then, if you supply wrong data, division by zero error. So it all depends on what input that we supply. This one, right? So this is 20 by 0, indefinite error, right? Which is 20 by 0. Invalid operation, remainder, right? So whatever. So likewise, we can take care of performing any kind of operation, guys, here with what you call proper inputs. That's it. Yeah. So see how easy is this. Yeah. Even in tools also, let us take whoever knows this ETL, right? Power center. We need to use what expression transformation. Then we need to write a code. Even expression transformation also. Though we have pre-built functions, we need to make use of pre-built functions to form expected mathematical result, right? But here it is doing by itself. This code we have to write it. Whatever code that we can see, right? This we have to write it in expression transformation. But here it is doing by itself. See how easy is this? Yeah? Which means you don't need to know any code at all, any coding. Yeah. So that's it. Which means if you have got very good creativity with respect to what supplying the input, that's all. You don't need much creativity. If you have, it's good. Even if you don't have also, if you just practice, right, like how to supply inputs, that's also fine. Yeah, if you have very good creativity, that's very good added advantage. But anyway, it's not mandatory. So that's it, guys. Like how to convert structure oriented to object oriented, then perform object oriented operations. Now let us try to focus on in object oriented, right? We got multiple concepts. You don't need to know, but if you know it, then so extend the above code, which uses what? All the object oriented features. Yeah. So we can also do that. So let us say extend the above code, which uses all the OOP features. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, now we could able to see the real effect of object orientation. Now we are trying to convert more towards object orientation. Now let's understand like what is it doing here, right? Yeah. Can you see here? In order to perform mathematical operations, right, like add, subtract, whatever, they all kept in what? In one class, which is math operations. Then what math operation we are doing? For add, one function, subtract another function, similarly multiplication division. Next, we also have existing function which is Fibonacci. For that we have separate class where generate sequence and you will get Fib sequence generated. Next, dictionary. See here, separate class and corresponding setters and getters and operation. That's it. Yeah. So that's it, guys. This way we can convert the existing code to what? Complete object orientation, meaning what? Everything would be expressed in the form of what? Classes and objects. And every class would contain the corresponding properties and behavior. Behavior means corresponding methods or functions. That's what it means. And then invocation of above. So where we can see this is going to be the class. Then setting value. Class means when you create object, right? Then object dot set value. Because even in if you take informatica or whatever, right? Can we execute a mapping directly in Power Center? We cannot do it. Then how do you execute it? We can create a session task based on any mapping. Yes or no? Similarly, in Object programming also, class cannot be executed directly. Instead, we need to create an instance of it. This is what instance. Instance means object, like a session task, right? This is equal to session task, object equal to session task. Then we can perform set or get whatever, right? So here we are setting it, then setting for set value, then we have got perform operation calling perform operation function with n number of values in it. That's it. Similarly, Fibo is another class. Create an instance of it, which is an object, and call the corresponding method from this Fibo. So these are the mathematical operation functions and Fibo and dictionary. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Three things, right? Dictionary and Fibo, we have done it earlier, and we added some mathematical operations. Yeah. Everything is well structured here, which means what? Everything has been expressed based on what? Classes. Every operation separate class. Fibo separate, mathematical operations separate, dictionary separate. That's it. So this way, one can convert structure to object oriented. Yeah. So for that, people have put in a lot of effort, guys. If you look at existing, what do you call, code enhancements, right? This is what we need to do manually. That's what people have done it earlier. Now see how easy is this. One, you don't need to know coding. Second, we just have to what you call. We don't need to even understand what it does. Yeah. Then we just need to understand here like how to supply the input. That's all we need to know. Yeah. Let us try to copy the code. So which means we are trying to reduce a lot of effort here. Yeah. Let me try to save. Yeah. Save as like you can put here. Let's say 100 percentage of object orientation. Earlier, it is not 100 percentage because some are structured, some are object oriented. Yes or no? Now we are trying to make it what? 100 percentage of object orientation. Why? One, to make it more readable, modular, flexible to modify, all that. We all know design factors, right? Like what we consider while building any code. Yeah. Now let us try to copy and paste. That's it. So everything has been converted to what? Object oriented. So it is that easy to modify or to enhance the existing code with complete object orientation, right? Three classes, right? Three separate functionalities. I invoke them by creating instance and call appropriate function. That's all. That's it. Yeah. Now let us try to run and see the result. Yeah. See, we got it. That same result we got it. Yeah. Like what we have seen earlier, right? So did I save it? It is not saved. So this old one, right? Yeah, now let's run it. Yeah. Can you see here? So last one here Fibo is not there, right? Here we can see what? Fibo, right? And then we could able to see all this mathematical operations like plus, minus, whatever, right? That's it. So this is how we can convert what I call structured to complete object orientation. Fine. So that's okay. Now the next question. Let us say we need to perform some dependent operations. Like for example, if you take any data warehousing world, let's say we build a workflow or a task flow or a job sequence or simply flow. To do that, one task would be functionally dependent on other tasks. Now the question, how are we going to take care of doing it in ChatGPT? Which is what? How to take care of dependency while building the workflow or task flow. That's going to be the question mark. Yeah. Remember here. So in case, yeah, we'll start in incremental way. To do that in programming, right? So what we normally do, we expect what we call, do we have any common properties or common functionalities which can be used for both the tasks. If there are any, then ChatGPT is going to generate the common code for both of them, then build. Then it's going to build the dependency based on n number of tasks. That's one thing. First, let's understand one. So let us say build two separate classes, each class one task, let us say. Then one class, let's say, dependent on another task. To do that, so build, or let us write a Python code, yeah, to inherit basic properties. See, these things are same, guys. Like for example, if you want to perform any operation in any warehousing world or any application, right? One, we need to have columns or metadata. Second, we can process the data. To process it, we use function. Metadata we take care by using properties. Properties or columns or fields or whatever, right? There are synonyms. Yeah. Inherit basic properties and its associated methods or functions. Yeah. So write a Python code associated function. Yeah. So that's it. This anyway, any grammatical mistakes or misspellings, all of them, or any transposition issues, right? All of them will be taken care by internal grammar, which is part of ChatGPT. Yeah? So we don't need to stick to what's applying the right word and all, right? Yeah. So now there is a concept called
Mhm.
inheritance.
Hi, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
yes, please.
sorry, sir. So this is Ravi Mohan, Narasimha,
Yes,
sir.
Ravi.
Yeah, I was just trying
Yes,
this
Ravi.
actually between Python and then Salesforce. So integration. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I got a good amount of code, sir.
Mm.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. Okay, I'm
Yes.
trying the other way
Yeah,
around. Maybe today I'll try it out and then update you guys back.
exactly. That's a good point, actually. Remember,
It
we
is,
can
it is.
just write a
Please.
Python code to interact with what? Salesforce. Yeah.
Salesforce,
To write a
yes.
code, but to talk to Salesforce, we need to supply four input parameters like username, password, and check security token and URL. Once you supply those four inputs, right, in a Python code, rest it will just execute.
Yes,
That's all it does. Yes or no, Ravi? Yeah,
absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Security token is a key thing. You're right.
exactly. That's correct. Yeah. So yes. Anyway, we'll talk about it as we go on because you asked question. I've just
Yeah,
answered, Ravi.
thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. So now, so let us talk about this code, like what it does. Yeah. So can you see, guys? So now I think module part we discussed, right? I think we talked about when we talked about arguments, right? We imported sys. We means code as generated anyway. We have seen it. Import sys, no? Using sys module, we can take care of argument, like getting the argument count and argument values, argc, argv, right? We have seen that with the example, right? So now look at this example. We are trying to focus on what? Common properties and common methods. Example, there is a shape. Yeah. So shape could be anything. It could be a circle, it could be rectangle, it could be quadrant, it could be triangle, whatever. Any shape. So there is a shape is a common class which contains what you call common methods like get color, area, then parameter. No? Remember, in Python, pause means pause means do nothing. So which means it doesn't have any functionality which can be implemented later on. You know? So for that we use what pause. But here it is getting what color. You know? This is initialization stuff. You know? So now let us see one shape, rectangle shape. Rectangle which is derived from shape because shape has got common properties, right? Like in it, get color. That's the main thing. Now, can you see here? This pause, this will be implemented in derived classes. Derived means rectangle, the way we calculate is different, right? And then triangle is different, quarter is different, and so on. So those things will be implemented in derived classes, or we can say specific functionality. We build it. Yeah. So rectangle is derived from shape. That's what it means. Remember, guys. Yeah. Now shape, sorry, rectangle specific initializations, we can see it here, right? And area, can you see here? Area has got do nothing, which means what? Empty. Now in derived class, which rectangle specific area, it is calculated here like a width into height, right? That's it. Self is just this pointer, forget about it. Yeah? Width into height, right? Area. Yeah? Then parameter, so 2 into whatever. No, so self width plus height. Yeah, similarly for circle, it has got its own calculation. Yeah, like we got pi r square, right? We all know that. Yeah, so this is area calculation. And for circle, right, and the perimeter is what? 2 into pi. Pi 3.1 for 22 by 7, we know, right? Pi r, 2 pi r, right? That's it. Yeah, so now we know how to create a common base class and how to create derived classes, one for rectangle, another for circle. The way we calculate area for circle is different from area for rectangle, right? That is why we got specific classes. But for both of them, what is the common thing? Color. We are trying to inherit common functionality
for both, in the sense for rectangle and also for circle. That's it, over. Now we just have to invoke it. To get rectangular functionality, create an instance of it by supplying color appropriate input. Yeah? So we should get 4 into 5, which is 20. So get color, get area, get parameter. Three things we are getting it. One is a common thing which is built in a base class which is a shape, and these two are specific to rectangle. Similarly, if you try to invoke a circle object by supplying the appropriate input here, yeah, why? Because if you try to call with the two inputs, right, so it is going to call this particular constructor. So it takes what? Radius as input and color. Then here it is taking what? 3, width, height and color. So that is why we supply 3 argument values over here, but whereas in circle we supply only 2. That's it. So depending upon our functionality, appropriate init would get invoked. Then get the color, area and parameter. These things are same, which means what? We are performing similar functionality, but the functionality would differ from shape to shape. That's it. So now we can try to what you call run and see the result for both the shapes, rectangle and circle. Yeah. So let's try to save this. Yeah. So we'll just put name as what inheritance dot py. Yeah. Inheritance means inheriting or deriving the common properties or common behavior from the base class. Here we are inheriting what? Properties plus and color also. Get color is a method, right? That's it. Yeah. Now let us paste this. It is pasted now. Yeah. So we got the code, right? Shape, whatever. Yeah. So that's it. Now let us try to run and see the result. Yeah. Enter. Yeah. So can you see, guys? So rectangular color blue, that's what is supplied, right? As part of code. Yeah. We can understand this code clearly. Yeah, blue, right? And for 4 into 5, we should get 20. And parameters, we all know that, right? We have got, yeah, parameter calculation. But we don't need to know actually, because that's the job of ChatGPT. Yeah? But you'll get expected result, yeah, as part of this. That's it, guys. So this way, we can also take care of dependency. Yeah. So rectangle and circle both are dependent on base class, which is a shape, where they are getting the common functionality, which is get color. And what is the corresponding attribute? Color. Which means we are trying to inherit both properties and behavior from this particular shape class. Remember that. And rest are specific to that. Which means the way we calculate area for rectangle would differ from circle to rectangle. That's it. Yeah? So that's it, guys. Now let us say there is a common functionality. Yeah, but arguments are different. For today's business, let's we need to perform one operation based on two input arguments. For tomorrow's business, let's say we need to perform similar operation but three inputs. Can we do it by using what? Python? Answer is yes. Remember. So that's where we use a term function overloading or method overloading, meaning same function with a different arguments, and those arguments would be expressed based on the types also, like one type could be integer, some could be float, whatever. Yeah. So now let us see in reality, right? So for example, I think We all know what you call file list, right? Or list files, Informatica, right? Yes, sir. What we do for today's business, let's say we expect data from 10 files. Tomorrow it could be 20 files. So we'll just place those files in indirect top level file, right? N number of data files underneath. So likewise, we can think one real scenario. So arguments form. Arguments today 10 files are 10 arguments. Tomorrow 20 files as input. That's all. The rest all will be taken care by chatgpt. See, it's as simple as that. So in that, we have to configure in Power Center, whatever, right? Here, we just have to supply one line text or two lines or 10 lines text input. That's all. Rest will be taken care by ChatGPT. Remember, yeah. So now let us ask for it. Yeah. So write a Python code. Yeah. To what you call handle function overloading. Yeah. Because same function with a different parameters, and based on parameters we should get the corresponding functionality. Yeah, let us see like what we have it over here. Can you see there is a calculator which is a class which contains two separate methods, add method, multiplication method, with different arguments. Remember, if arg2, then this operation arg0 plus 1, arg3, all three got summed up. That's it. If you supply more or less, which is more than 3 or less than 1, then it is going to throw this particular error message. Yeah, similarly multiplication also same thing. So ultimately we are focusing on arguments to corresponding function. That's all, guys. So indirect one example I gave, right? Similarly, we can also extend this to pharma industry. For today, we need to obtain what I call the crocin, a paracetamol, based on what? Two ingredients. And tomorrow, let's produce paracetamol based on what? Three ingredients. Which means the function is same, but the type of input, the number of inputs that we supply got differed. So for that, you don't need to do anything. Just ask for it. It will generate a code. Yeah. So now add is the same function, but different arguments. In this first method, it is using two argument values. Here 3, here 4. 4 means out of boundary, right? 3 maximum it supports because that's what we asked for. Yeah. So 3 is the default, but we can extend. Yeah. So 4, 5, whatever. Yeah. So that's it. Same for multiplication. Yeah. Clear, guys? See how easy is this? So we are trying to compare this with what, like what we do, one of the operation in, so like data warehousing tool, right? Anyway, I'm just giving samples, real examples we are going to see as we go on. Yeah. So let us try to save this. So I'll just put here polymorphism. Yeah. Fine. Dot py. Enter. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Polymorphism, many, right? Poly means many, many forms, right? Same thing, many ways we are trying to represent. Yeah. Now let us try to run this. Yeah. Yes. See, we got right. For rectangle, this is it's not saved. Huh? Same mistake I make. Oh, it's saved, right? Area calculation, all that. It has come. Yeah, same thing. It has come actually. Fine. We need to add. This code is different, huh? I think I didn't copy this. Yes. Here we are doing add those things, right? They are different. Yeah. Now you will see that. Yeah. See, now adding addition part, multiplication part with right input arguments, with wrong input arguments. If you try to supply the arguments which is not supported by the Python code, then we are going to get corresponding error message. That's it. Yeah. So now we can ask question. Let's say correct the above code. Yeah. So correct the above code to handle three arguments. Three, I think taken care, right? We would have given four actually. Yeah, see here. Now we have just corrected with the three arguments only. So we are not going to get any error. Remember, we are asking for only three for both the operations. That's it. Yeah. No, see in the previous case, we asked for what? We asked generic question. Now we asked specific question. This is the difference between generic and specific, guys. Yeah. So now let us try to paste it. Yeah. So let's say polymorphism specific args, yeah, arguments, right? Dot py. Fine. So now let's paste it. See here, if you look at this add operation, multiplication operation, both the cases we are expecting the result based on what? Three arguments. Yeah? A, B, C. Then both are performing over here, but we are not going to get any error as a result of this particular program. Let us invoke and look at the result. Specific, right? That's it. See, now we cannot see. Oh, this is not saved. No? Yes, we need to save it. Yeah. Now we could able to see what? Right result because we asked for specific input. This is the effect of what we call specific answer to specific question, right? So which means so we asked for specific question, we got the specific answer. This is the power of asking specific question. If you try to ask generic question, right, you will get some anonymous results, some will be valid results. Remember that. Yeah, clear, guys? So that's it. So 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 that's it for today, guys. I think we can stop here because I think we understood object orientation with some of the capabilities. But anyway, there are lots of things, so we don't need to get into too many things. I'll try to talk about like debugging stuff within Python. Then we'll get into what? Another topic. Because Python is itself is a version. No, we are not focusing on Python only because they are just prerequisite before we perform building a solution for data warehouse, right? So that's our scope. Yes or no? Python is a separate story. Yeah. So why I'm trying to talk about Python because this is the latest language. I think I talked about it, and I'll also talk about what language that will be understood by appropriate tool if it is Informatica, data ABM tools or talent, whatever, right? They understand on their own specific language, like a Java mainly. So if you try to write a code based on Java and pointing to respective tool, then you'll get what? Uh, Performance effective results. We will see that in the next session, like why to focus on the specific language to deal with what specific tool, so that you will see the performance effective results. Yeah, we'll see that on tomorrow's session. Till now, if you have any questions, you can shoot out, guys. Fine. So if there are no questions, we'll stop here. We'll continue from it tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks to all and bye.
Okay, sir.